What's up, everybody? Booya! This is Laketoria Remembers. I'm your host, CJ, here with Andy.
What's up, everybody?
And from across the United States, Kevin. So what's up, everybody?
Hey, what's up? Okay, hi.
Yeah, way to jump the gun.
I know. I was excited. I'm sorry.
This is going to be an exciting episode, because today we're talking about everybody's favorite cartoon at one point in time, and if it wasn't, then you're un-American to me.
Well, they were just, not a 90s kid.
Well, this is for 90s kids. I mean, anyone born after the 90s, they probably think we're old relics. Like, what are you talking about? They want to talk about things like Phineas and Ferb. But we're talking about Doug.
Yeah.
Douglas Yancey Funny. Started off on Nickelodeon, then in '96 moved to ABC when Disney bought out Jimbo Productions, and then owned the rights to Doug.
It was a sad day for everybody.
It was, but we will get to that soon. I promise you. I swear to you, we will get to that. My first question, though, what is your favorite Doug moment or episode? Like, I have a bunch of them, so we don't have the same answers. I'm gonna kick it off to you first, Kevin.
Okay.
Especially since you most identify with Doug out of anyone.
So back. I don't mean to make a call out right now in the beginning of the episode, but back in our Big Mouth episode, you said that I was a lot like Doug, and I just spent the past 2 days watching almost the first 3 seasons of Doug.
And now I'm really depressed.
I can't really pick out a certain moment in Doug that I really liked. There's a few moments that kind of annoyed me. One, Chalky. I didn't realize how much I hated him until watching it again and just going, who does this guy think he is? Just being all good and making Doug feel bad about himself. Now that I've identified as Doug and going, oh god, that was me. That was me in 6th grade. That everything that this guy's done. And it's very self-loathing. But if I had to choose a favorite Doug episode, I guess it's the video game one where he just spent most of his time playing video games, blew off his homework, but in the end he was able to finish his homework just in time, and he just went, "Ooh, that was a close one." I think that was my favorite one out of all of them.
That's you. That's you now.
That's exactly what I did. I kind of identified the most with that episode and just going, just back off. Let me play this game. Let me finish this. Oh crap, it's Sunday. It's due tomorrow. Let me do all this.
Yeah. Definitely. To you, Andy, what was your favorite episode or moment?
Killer tofu.
Yeah.
I love every episode with the beats in it because I feel like there was so much effort. Like, if you go back and watch the episodes, and you watch any of the episodes with the beats in them, those episodes have so much effort put into them.
Yeah.
The beats! My favorite thing specifically
Jackets!
about Killer Tofu, though, is the fact that it's a song about how, soda and breakfast cereal and crap like that's bad for you. And I think I didn't realize it at the time, but when I was rewatching some episodes, that's when I actually listened to the lyrics, and I was like, wait, hold on, and I went online and checked it out, and I was like, yeah, okay, he was singing about how soda's terrible for you. And I think the imagery, I guess, of a rock band, instead of singing about whatever you would normally expect a rock band to sing about, to talk about public health issues and childhood obesity, it was really it made me smile, and I appreciated it in the whole.
Hey! You forgot that they also wanted kids to have more allowance as well. They wanted more money for kids.
Yep, damn straight. Childhood equality.
I think there's a lot of great Doug moments and episodes that I could go through on and on and on, but I think my favorite Doug moments are when he's in his own head as his different characters. When he was the 007 copycat Smash Adams, Quail Man, or Wanana Jack Bandit.
And his partner, Pork Chop.
Doug had Doug's imagination was probably my favorite part. Also, the recycled sounds and noises. You notice Roger's laugh is the same laugh every single time.
They're
It's like
like,
they recorded it
he
one
was
time
he
and
was
placed
either
it
the
in every
most
episode that he
consistent
laughed.
voice actor, or it was just like they got one really good take and they were like, this is it.
Exactly. If
We're
I ever
never
met that
changing
voice,
this.
if I ever meet the voice actor that did Roger, he could never convince me that he did that laugh multiple times in multiple episodes. But no, you did it one time, and they saved it on a floppy disk, and it just went into every episode that you laughed. But yeah, my favorite
Somewhere
Doug
on
moments would just be his imagination.
Some executive's computer, like there's still a Roger laugh .wave file.
Mm-hmm. So I would use Roger's laugh as my ringtone if I could.
That would be horrible.
I know, but I'd have it set for like people who I don't want to talk to, because nobody wants to be friends with Roger. So I imagine that ringtone would be like, I don't want to hear anything this person has to say. Oh, moving on to Andy's favorite part of the show, or this episode, not the show. Whew. It's kind of funny how Disney just works its way into like all of our episodes of everything we do. But
They do have their hooks in everything.
for all the good praise out there that people say we give Disney so much praise, they fucked up Doug. Disney's Doug from 1996 to 1999.
Ooh, wait, let me finish the sentence. Was basically the worst thing ever.
Yeah, the only thing I really liked was the theme song. It was kind of like just different. Other than that, I liked that Connie got skinny because, you know, they addressed it like how weight problems could be bad for your health when they actually showed the fact that she got skinny.
So they tried to teach a lesson.
Yeah, and I think
Did
back
she listen
then
to the Beats song about how soda's bad for you?
maybe she started eating killer tofu. I don't know. The Beats were old and broken up by that point in Disney stuff. Just like every band from back in the 80s broken up in the 90s. Kevin, the floor is yours.
I'm going to be the devil's advocate here. I think Disney made Doug better.
Do explain, sir.
No, this call's over. Bye.
I feel like I need to put on my British wig as a judge to hear this.
Today, I spent all day watching Disney's Doug and just making the comparisons. And I understand why we didn't like the changes all that much, was because the original episodes of Doug was like 11 to 12 minutes long. Where with the new Disney ones, it was an actual 30 minutes long, where they actually had to put it in a story. Anything from the original Doug in Nickelodeon was always focused on Doug. So it was always through his point of view and what he took out of it. But in Disney, you still have that, but you actually had time to focus on the other characters. You actually saw Roger grow as a person in certain episodes. It didn't involve Doug being like, oh, well, you're having a hard time, I'm gonna be nice. But I feel like the way they set up the show, it's either, since it's a half hour long, you got to be longer into his personas, where he's either Quail Man or the superhero or whatever he's imagining, instead of just those quick 2-minute blips they have. And even with the weaker episodes, you still get those cuts. You still get an A plot and a B plot that revolve around other characters that would normally just be ignored.
Why not just call it Bluffington instead of Doug?
You could have done that, but I think we all would have been mad at that point. But Doug is still the main character. Doug still has the focus.
I'm upset about them for making the name more accurate than I was about them ruining one of my favorite cartoons.
You know what I hated about Doug, and I'll kick it to you in a second, Andy? Disney's Doug, while it wasn't a terrible show, I'll give you that. It was not the worst show in the world. Some people here may disagree, but it was not the worst show in the world. What I hated is like the small changes they made, where like Mrs. Dink won the election for mayor, and the mayor became like wasn't the mayor like the principal of the high school all of a sudden?
I don't remember what happened to the mayor.
Roger got rich, but lived in a trailer in front of a mansion. Did that not bother anyone?
Now I realize I like to dig deeper than what's actually there, and you're just like, no kid is going to realize that and think that way. But isn't it like Roger too afraid of change? Like he's okay with all the money and stuff, but he stays in that trailer just to be comfortable, and that's why he stays there.
This is his comfort zone. Did that resonate?
Yes.
with you, Kevin?
What self-respect?
No, shut up. We're not getting. No, don't even talk about that.
What self-respecting mother is leaving their like 15-year-old kid in a trailer off yonder?
Listen, if he's got millions of dollars, I'm
Whoa,
really gonna complain.
whoa! You can do whatever you want when you have that kind of money.
That's right. That's living in trailer money, CJ.
I don't know. I just wasn't a huge fan of Disney's Doug. I didn't like the changes to the clothing. I didn't like Patty Mayonnaise's hair being smushed down. I didn't like Doug's longer sleeves. I didn't like Skeeter's vest.
I thought you were just gonna say I didn't like Skeeter.
I didn't like that the school was in the shape of BB's head.
Okay, I would agree with you. I did not like any of the artistic changes with the characters. That did bother me. I think Doug's hair was a little bit longer at one point, and I don't know. It's just, you get used to something for so long.
I don't think the story plots bothered me at all. I think it was more of just like artistically looking at the show. There's so many just weird changes. The Honker Burger becoming a Mr. Swirlies. Like,
But once again, I think the whole thing is with Doug, it's the closest thing to reality, or at least it kind of better mirrored what school was like, what middle school was like, and what high school was like. And I feel like because of that, it shows change. It's showing change. It's showing that, hey, sometimes there's something that builds up. Sometimes other places change. Sometimes your school even changes. And I think that's what they were trying to do with that. And I understand that we hate change, especially in our cartoon shows that have been going on for years. And having to see that could be a little unsettling.
Yeah.
I think that's why I liked Doug so much, was like when I started watching it, I mean, I didn't watch like the original runs because I was like 4 or 5 when it first started coming out. You know, it was one of those things where it sort of informed me as to like what all of the different personalities in school were. You've got, you know, Roger, your bully, who's insecure and stuff like that. Skeeter, your day one friend, that kind of thing. And I guess what I didn't really care
You're
about...
my Skeeter.
Yep, we were. It was like fucking preschool. And I guess what I didn't really care about in the Disney remake was that they tried to explore those, but because they weren't always from the perspective of Doug, it didn't mean as much to me. Because Doug is supposed to be the character that, you know, he's like the Joe Everyman kind of guy. He's the one that you're supposed to relate to. And so when you saw those kind of characterizations and stuff like that happening off screen away from Doug, it sort of, I guess, stole some of the lesson that you were supposed to take away from it, because you don't get Doug's input on it.
I 100% agree with you. That's a really good point. But that's all we have time for today. Our blast from the past. Stay tuned for our next episode of Booya Laketoria Remembers. And whether you're banging on a trash can, drumming on a streetlight, or outside yelling "Kulukakoo" looking for a nematode, have a good night.